Well, time for our first September Willard's Wisdoms. It's another Brennan Willard podcast from the studios of LEB TV. It's brought to you by Schaefer's Oil and by Lakeside Auto Repair. Back from Illinois. Pretty good finish at Spoon River on Sunday.
Yeah, it was better. We, the first two nights, I'm glad they were over with and want to forget. But the second night, or the third night, was better. So it was better to end the weekend on a little better note than what we've had. And with the last 3 months that we've had on dirt side being the way they've been, it was much welcome change there at the end. So way to end the night and end the weekend and get ready for get a little momentum for Davenport now. So excited about that. And long weekend, a lot of logistics went into the weekend, and just a whole very, very long week, to say the least.
Wow. That takes a little bit of stamina and endurance to go 3 straight nights like that.
Yeah, and so our crew chief hurt his hip, so his hip was out of socket. So Tyler tried all week, and so we had to get help from other teams, and Tony Jackson's guys bailed us out. Braden became main crew guy for the weekend, and at 11 years old, and did a awesome job. I'm really proud of him. He did phenomenal. But so I had to pick Braden up in Poplar Bluff and drive from Poplar Bluff then to Farmer City. So our hauler left Friday morning, separate from us, and then I took my truck, picked Braden up, and then Tyler took it to up to Michigan to finish moving to Missouri. But after the races were all over, but. So yeah, it was very interesting, to say the least. The TJR guys jumped in and helped all weekend, and Jacob helped on both cars back and forth, and we got a lot done. It's a long 3 nights. When you're on three nights and loading up and driving every night, like at 3 different racetracks, doesn't seem like a lot, but it really adds about an extra 2 hours, not just the driving. Obviously, you have 2 hours of driving on average per day anyway. But then when you have the loading, unloading process and all the other things on there, just everything added up. It just added into a lot of work. So it was a long 3 days, but it was good, and got through it. Didn't tear anything up too bad, and able to end on a decent note on Sunday night. Not the finish we wanted, but a lot better than what we've been running. So we'll take it.
Speaking of Tony Jackson, he was 4th at Spoon River, and he's at 3rd now in the point standings for the Mars Series, or 4th, I believe.
4th,
so
yeah.
he's got a shot at 3rd, a legitimate shot, looks like.
Yeah, he was 3rd going into the weekend, and then I think Bab got him. You're going into where I feel like next weekend will help all. I'm going to say the MLRA guys, or Tony, myself, and Herzog. To where we've got we're going to Davenport, to a racetrack that we've been to, where the other tracks, we hadn't really, Tony had been to them, but prior to this year, I'd never been there at all. So you're going to, it was nice. We went to 3 racetracks that we'd been to 1 time each this weekend. So, but like those other guys, that's their bread and butter racetracks, and they're really good at those places, and you're going to have a time beating them. But he did a good job. He did a good job of having a solid weekend, especially Sunday. He had a really good car. Just, I think they messed it maybe a little bit in the feature, but good night for him Sunday night. And what a wild weekend, though. Just overall, just a lot of logistics and a lot of hard work to go into it. But glad it's over and ready for the next one, and it's a lot smoother sailing at Davenport.
So you've got 10 races remaining, looks like, on the Mars schedule. So
there's a lot to go.
Yeah.
A lot still to go. The rookie, we killed ourselves. We have no shot, in my opinion, of Rookie of the Year right now. We just killed ourselves early in the season just by DNFs and missing a couple shows. We missed a show Friday night. They're just putting ourselves behind the 8 ball and just not beat ourselves, just got beat. And then, but that battle with Herzog and Little and Klein's going to be tough. And I think Jeff's got a lot better shot than he had a month ago just because he's, like I said, going to Davenport, but then Darren Klein at Brownstown, Illinois is going to be really tough. And then, I mean, it's a lot. There's not a lot of time left in the season, but there's a lot of races left. So I don't think anybody's going to beat Jason Fegers and then the Mars Points. He's running really good right now. And he's on, going to racetracks he runs good at. You can't count Unzinger and Babb out anywhere, but I mean, Fager's just really, really good. And, but Tony's had a good year of going to those racetracks, I'm not saying out of his comfort zone, but out of where he's been, and going to new places and trying to go in those guys' backyard and compete with them, and has done a good job of it. So there's a lot to go, 10 races to go. He could still make up some ground, and I think legit has a shot at the top, at second or third in points for sure, but I don't think anybody's you have a hard time getting to bat or to Feger the way he's been running lately.
If young race car drivers are coming up, I think Tony Jackson is really kind of underrated as somebody to try to copy and emulate, because
sure.
that dude has had success doing everything, hasn't he?
Yeah, and he doesn't realize how good he is on the asphalt side of things. Like that came to him naturally. I don't know how he can go get in a pavement car right now and run really well. And, but no, it is, he's kind of, and you look at the way he came up, he started on pavement, which is backwards kind of how it was, but neither one of us knew anything but asphalt. That's where we started. That's I-44 was pavement. And that was the only track, it was Bolivar and Lebanon. And when your family's there, that's where you go. And that's just what you do. And when the dirt transition happened in 2003 and the Midway opened in 2004, end of 2004, beginning of 2005, he would go race a super stock and a modified every night at Midway, both classes. And he would go race Midway on Friday. Then he'd go to Lebanon on Saturday. Then he would go to Monette on Sundays. And he was racing 3 nights a week, and really getting a lot of experience and a lot of laps at a young age, being ready to go. And I think that's, that was 20 years ago, so nobody remembers that as much as they, would have right in the time. But if you have a young kid coming up, especially here, you've got a great opportunity. You can go get a Midwest mod or a legend car, and legend cars are adding more and more races. So if you're really young, you can go get a legend car. Then go up to like a Midwest mod where you're getting 2 to 3 nights of experience per week. I think it'd be nice if Monette went to Sundays again, where you could have a 3-night swing for somebody coming up, and you really learn to develop. And the more times you get in a race car, the more times you can just learn from the mistakes you make. Like, we went out Friday night in hot laps and we're really, really good. And then absolutely screwed up in qualifying. And then did that again on Sunday, just completely. And I drew a late number on Sunday and just roasted the tires coming out of the corner. Just went through 1 and 2 perfect, got to 3 and 4 and was like the young bull that got excited and just completely messed up and roasted the tires in the middle of the corner. And then just at that point, you're just might as well stay in it and do the best you can. But we had a horrible qualifying effort on the last corner. And it takes making that mistake, though, to know what you got to do the next time. Just like when you go to Fairbury and you learn to bounce off the fence and it gains you 5 to 10 mile an hour on the straightaway, like, how do you do that? And knowing not to let the right front come and hit the wall and then you climb the wall, right? There's an art to that. And a young kid growing up, the best they can do is go race over and over and over again. And I joke with Fager all the time. I'm like, man, if Braden decides he's going to be a dirt late model racer, we're moving to Bloomington, Illinois for a summer, and we're going to go race all these racetracks every night, because they've got 3 to 4 racetracks within an hour there that race every week, late models, and you can go race Farmer City, Fairbury, Spoon River, like really good racetracks in my opinion. And those tracks are basically an hour to an hour and a half apart, and they're very close. So it really helps you helps you just learn car control, learn the ins and outs of racing. And that's the biggest thing. Like you talk about Tony learning and being able to do a little bit of everything. Like he's driven every kind of car, every kind of stock car. He's never driven a sprint car, I don't think, but every kind of stock car. And he's was willing when he's younger to get into anything he could and drive it and learn. And that's where, if a kid's 12 to 16 years old, that's my opinion, what you got to do, get in something and drive and get lap after lap after lap. Doesn't matter if you're in a bomber, like get in whatever you can to get laps. And, nothing beats on-track experience.
Not too many folks, if any, around these parts can make a claim that they also jumped into the NASCAR Truck Series also.
Yes. That helped him a lot, and that really helped Bobby Pierce a lot too. Like I watched both of them make truck starts, and then when they came back to dirt, the speed helps, in my opinion. Speed and learning to drive way beyond your comfort level. And then, you're going, if you're in the Truck Series, you're running in 170 mile an hour average lap at Kansas, and then you're going to go to a racetrack when you're running an 85 mile an hour average lap. You literally have to, it's twice as big, but the speed, you learn to slow everything down. And I think that helps a lot as being able to do that. And I think it's why Kyle Larson's so good. He's driving a sprint car, and then he's driving, a little micro or the outlaw cart, sorry. And then you're going to a cup car, and then you're going, just diversifying 24/7. And the more you can race, the better you're going to be for sure.
Well, Labor Day weekend is probably maybe the biggest and best weekend of the year for racing. And I think that was the case around here. Midway car count, 78. Springfield, they had 136.
225 at Springfield.
Yeah.
225 cars at Springfield for the Rex McCroskey race. It's incredible. Like, Hoffman told me he was hoping he could have 200. He had 225 was his total entries at the end. So that's insane.
And Dylan McCowan, he bailed out of the Mars series and went down and won the Rex McCroskey.
Terry Phillips second.
Yeah.
I think it was awesome to see just with the McCroskey, with that race and nostalgia of that, or for us old timers, I guess we're old now, but seeing Terry Phillips run second in that race was really cool to see. And I actually got to watch that on TV on the way home, and they had a huge crowd there, and just a really good race all weekend at Springfield. All the classes were really good, and it was fun to watch. There was 21 B mods I heard at Midway Friday night, they raced Friday night, so that's awesome. And then the Bill Ragland Memorial's coming up this Saturday night. So Midway's on Saturday this week. A big race for them. Really cool that Bill was a really huge race fan and helped a lot of people race. Of course, his son Jamie was really good. Now grandson Oakley is coming up, but probably the biggest Midwest mod race of the year is Saturday night at Midway. So that'll be cool to watch, and a big weekend for them coming up. Lucas Oil Speedway had a big weekend last weekend with the 2-day comp cams races, and
Chris Simpson of Oxford, Iowa won them both.
Yeah, he came in and really put a butt whooping on everybody. But 46 late models I think I saw at Wheatland on Saturday night.
112 total on Saturday car count, and 102 on Friday.
Wow. Good weekend for them. And I think there was 38 late models at Springfield on Sunday. So huge car counts and super late models around here. And I mean, there was several of us obviously that had other commitments and we had to go. But hopefully next year all the things line out. Everybody's commitments are where you can be at both. But a huge turnout around here, and great to see that everybody had good crowds this weekend and huge car counts. That's what, like you said, Labor Day may be the best weekend of racing around. And September brings specials, and this is the time of year that the big races happen, all the racetracks. So Midway, maybe their biggest race of the year, probably to date, will be this weekend, and then I-44's got the semi-trucks coming in 2 weeks, so just a lot of big races coming up each week.
Yep, big rig race is September 13th at I-44. Lake Ozark, they had the big Outlaw Sprint show, 85 cars on Saturday and 107 on Friday. So, I mean, all the racetracks around here were hopping.
They were a lot of big car counts and a lot of really good racing around here. So, I know USAC Sprints will be at Wheatland on Saturday night for the first time in a long time. Non-wing sprint cars are pretty cool. I like watching those a lot. Big show there. Springfield's off for the Boone Super Nationals this week. And then, like we said, it's specials time coming up. So we are off. It's World 100 week, the biggest week of the year in dirt late model racing. But we are not going. We're not, the way we've been running, we obviously are not going to participate in that. But we'll be watching on TV and checking that out. And big week for a lot of people. You know, this is the make or break. You can make your whole career winning Eldora Saturday night. And there's 5 or 6 guys that I feel like have a really good shot. But to me, it'd be really cool to see Jason Fager go shock the world a little bit and win as fast as he's been, as good as he's running. You know, Eldora's a lot different size than it is at Spoon River or at Fairbury. But, you know, if you're fast, you're fast. And I think, you know, they've got the momentum on their side and got a lot going for them that hopefully he can go up there and put on a show and bring home a good solid run. I think it'd be cool as a regional guy to see the regional guys go up there and knock one off would be big. But a lot going on, a whole lot in the racing world. And then
Cup race on Sunday in St. Louis.
Yeah. Wow. That's a huge weekend coming up. What about Darlington? Chase Briscoe. There's been a lot of people picking him for their Final Four before this. And I guess I haven't watched as much Cup stuff. He's got more top 10 finishes this year than Martin Truex had. No, more top 5s in top 10s this year than Martin Truex had the previous 2 years combined already. Like, that's really shocking and good for him. Like, I felt like he was in a make or break deal, and a lot of people, myself included, were kind of shocked he got that ride. But obviously they saw something that the rest of us did not see. And, you know, he's won 2 races this year and got like 6 or 7 poles, and absolutely stunk up the show at Darlington on Sunday. So, pretty cool to see that. And, you know, Gateway coming up Sunday, that'll be a tremendous race. It really will be. And, you know, the Cup Series schedule, I can't say that I'm a huge fan of the playoffs, but gives you something to talk about and really creates a lot of excitement at the end of the year that, you know, I think it's what they're looking for. And the buzz that it creates is a positive thing.
Connor Zilich, another Xfinity win. And tell you, Corey Heim has just dominated the Truck Series. He's won 8 this year now.
Yeah, and Zilich has won, 6 Busch or Xfinity races, which would be the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series. So another Missouri company making a big influence there. But, yeah, the Corey Heim's really very good. And he's leaving the Truck Series next year, and there's really no room for him in a Toyota unless somebody leaves somewhere and gets an opening. But obviously the Busch car or the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series for him next year is what it's looking like, and really well deserved to move up. Just an insane amount of wins this year and just dominant every week.
So no racing for you until Davenport. That's a 2-night
we got
show?
a 3-day weekend. So Davenport back-to-back nights, and then Quincy's a makeup on Sunday. So a big weekend there. Then we go to, I think that weekend after that's Brownstown and Peoria. That's right. And then the weekend after that looks like Lake Ozark just now instead of Midway, which will be kind of close to home and cool. So we're planning on going to both of those. And then weekend after that, we'll finish out the Mars Series at Fairbury and then come to Lucas Oil Speedway for 3 nights to finish up our regular season. So that'd be like the second week of October. Then the Turkey Bowl, and you know, got some exciting stuff coming up to announce for December coming up soon. Hopefully, looks like we'll get to make one more pavement race at least in October sometime, and then see where we're at in November. You know, if Hoffman can get his normal good luck on the weather this year and we can have the Turkey Bowl early, there's a chance we could possibly go to, we'll see if everything lines up about going to Florida for the Bigley race. We'll see on pavement. And if not, that'll be something we try to get down there next year. But really looking forward to the end of this year. A lot of exciting things you're hearing about next year on everywhere around here. So, regionally, I think the racing's looking good around here, and really hope we can end the year strong. It's been a tough year, but we said on the show we knew it was going to be tough, and I knew what I signed up for, and I think it's been a good thing for us to go do what we've done.
Just keep grinding away.
Yep.
All right, good visit.
We'll see you next week.
That's Brendan Willard. I'm Kevin Stubblefield. Thanks for joining us for another Brendan Willard podcast brought to you by Lakeside Auto Repair and by Schaefer's Oil from the studios of LEB TV.